Hello everyone, this is Red Boy Strang and welcome to Moment for Mission. It's great that you're joining me today. Well, today on Moment for Mission, I want to talk about the topic of when your mission gets derailed. But first, let's take a moment for a Fred Foy fact. Falling off ladders. I've done that a few times. When I was young, I did my share of orange picking, and there were quite a number of occasions that I fell right out of that tree. Then there was lychee picking for my Uncle Bam, and those trees were pretty high, and those wooden grove ladders were mighty tall, and there were quite a few 5-gallon buckets of lychee nuts that didn't quite make it to market. Then there was cleaning out the leaves of the gutters for Mr. and Mrs. T when I was a teenager. Fell right off that roof. And then later renovating a couple of houses, fell from the roof, fell from a second story. Oh my gosh, I can't even count the times I've fallen off a ladder. However, thankfully, I've never been hurt beyond a couple of weeks of recovery. Well, sometimes, like falling off a ladder, our mission suddenly and unexpectedly halts. It just stops in its tracks. Sometimes our mission comes to that screeching halt. In these situations, it's often for reasons and circumstances that are completely outside our control. Perhaps you, or certainly someone you know well, has been unexpectedly relieved of their employment duties. Maybe there is a tragic circumstance that halts everything, stands our current mission right on its head. Or it's even that dreaded news from your doctor that stops you and perhaps all your family right in their tracks. Just a few days ago, I was visiting with a young man who had, like me, fallen off a ladder up in his garage, putting up some things, and all of a sudden that ladder simply slipped out from under him. Down he went onto the concrete floor. He broke a pelvis and a couple of backbones, and he's in rehab. Thankfully, he's okay. He could have died. It was an amazing, miraculous thing that he survived. And yet, for him, in his job, in his family with several children and a wife, everything, his activities as a fisherman and other things that he's involved in completely stopped. His mission was halted absolutely from that one experience. Now, I'm thankful to say that he's going to be just fine. It'll be about 2 months, but he's going to be fine. But what happens when that happens to us? Not necessarily falling off a ladder, but you get the idea. Sometimes that mission that's going along, our vision seems to be clear, everything is humming quite nicely, and all of a sudden, bam, we're stopped. What do you do? What does it mean? Is there a way forward? Well, I think these are critical times in our lives, times that give us the opportunity to reshape, rethink, reconsider, reconfigure our mission. Now, let me put on my preacher's collar for just a minute and give you a couple of insights from sacred scripture. In the Psalms, the prayer book of the Bible, the psalmist encourages us to be still and know that God is God. What a neat admonition. Sometimes the higher power, if you will, cannot be known in the hustle and bustle and craziness of our frenetic lives. But it takes a moment to be still, to grab that time away, to listen for what's really important. You might remember Elijah and the whirlwind, and how God was found in 1 Kings chapter 19 in a still small voice. After the fire, after the earthquake, after the giant wind, it was the quietness. In Isaiah, we read, "In returning and in rest, you will be saved. In quietness and in trust shall be your strength." You see, some of these ancient writers really valued that time of solitude. And you can find this across the dynamic of world religions, no matter which one you choose. The value of connecting with the Almighty, the other, the higher power. God is found in our ability to be still, to be quiet, and to consider things beyond ourselves. You might think the person, Jesus Christ, didn't need that. But yet, in the Gospel of Mark, he did need that. And it is recorded that very early in the morning, Jesus went off to a solitary place, and there he prayed. Often when there is a big disappointment, often when there is that halting of our mission and vision, that may, in fact, be the beginning of an incredibly great adventure. We don't have a crystal ball to look at. We don't know the future, but we know that things move in and out of our lives. People come and go. Situations present themselves in such a way that if we can take advantage of that and realize how that can help us in our mission and vision, then we can find a way to make our mission even more clear. Have you ever stood in a historic cathedral in Europe, or been in a quiet in a museum before an amazing work of art, or sat in the sand or on a rock on a mountaintop to watch the waning sun kiss the earth goodnight? It's in moments like those that we might hear, we might discern, we might to come to know something new about ourselves, about our own purpose, that can reshape our mission and our vision. One of my favorite authors, Henry David Thoreau, said, "If we will be quiet and ready enough, we shall find compensation in every disappointment." So, derailment it has already, or it most likely will happen to you. It is part of the human journey. What you do when it does happen can mean the difference between a time of despair or a time of newness and renewal. I bet a caterpillar is certain that it is the absolute end. But we also know that a butterfly emerges after a dark night. So keep thinking about your mission. Keep it before you. Be willing to have it reforged in the crucible of challenge, and you'll be the better for the journey you've made. This is Dr. Fred Foy Strang. Have a great day.